What is going on? Welcome to Heaven on Earth Astrology. I'm Michael, Mystic, and this is where we observe the rhythm of the heavens to speak the language of the soul. This is the astrological forecast for the 11th until the 17th of beautiful summer month, July. Whew. We're building up towards a full moon in Capricorn on Wednesday, 8:37. And I can tell you, the word is intense with Pluto. And, you know, this is where we could tap into the Kundalini force and to our power. But where there's a lot of darkness, with Capricorn being the authority, the boss. Before I go there, I have to say, I'm opening up 3 spots for my Aquarian Lightworker, a 12-week revolutionary program to work one-on-one with me. It's not something I do often, but I feel right now is the time. With Leo coming, with people wanting to express their creativity, the Aquarian Lightwork is really to help you tap into your own Lightworker, your leadership, your personal leadership. Everybody has their own unique style, but sometimes you might think, what do I have to offer to the world? Do I really? What's the potential? And if you do know, awesome, then let's double down on it and let's find ways to emphasize it. It's the powers of astrology, working actively with your astrological chart, Kundalini exercises, and you know, they can really shed layers if you want, and so much more. Go check it out. I'll put the link in the description below. I'm opening the spot on the 29th of July. 3 spots. You can subscribe right now. Send me a DM. All right. The full moon in Capricorn is actually what, you know, funny enough, I know it's the word is the Aquarian Lightworker, but it's what your Lightworkerness is really about. And like I said, this full moon is going to be conjunct Pluto. And we are working with the Kundalini force here. And the Kundalini force can be very, you know, I wouldn't say dangerous, but maybe it kind of is. If you know what you're doing, and I hope you're hearing me with the wind, but you know, that's why when we do Kundalini yoga, there's a certain, you know, there's a certain consistency, a certain, you know, Capricorn is about plan and a structure. And there is a culmination happening with, you know, Sun in Cancer is obviously very emotional and has to do with a foundation in life and an emotional maturity that Moon in Capricorn is reaching to a certain extent. And we can have so much power. We are thriving in business. We're thriving in like a certain, you know, this is who I am and I'm self-determining. But the problem with Pluto here is that there is not much stability, plan, structure that we are really having. And that's a good thing, because that means we can transform with power and the Kundalini force that bursts through. And with you know, a sextile of Mercury to Uranus, this is eye-opening, especially on the North Node. But this is also freak-out energy, because Mercury and the Sun sextiling Uranus is sudden, you know, surprises, energy that, like, you know, when the ocean, Cancer, is, you know, falling, like the waves are breaking, there's a lot of energy that is released. Like, that's where there's so much oxygen and life force going on, and electrolytes and all those things. But because of that release and that power that you receive and that maturity that there is a certain extent is reached, sometimes we don't know what to do with it. And this is like a fall from grace that could happen, but also a fear of your power because it's so fucking powerful, you know? I can tell you, for instance, from experience, that what happened, you know, with all those gurus and all those, you know, actors and abusing their power, there's a fear inside of me, and I know in a lot of people, what am I going to do with so much power if I have it? You know? And there's that fear, but that's where we have to, there's something that we can do, and I'll get to that in just a second. Well, actually, you know, the first thing is Sun in Cancer has to do with remaining soft instead of becoming very hard. No pun intended, please. With Pluto, you know what I'm saying? But this is, we have to stay cool under pressure. And to stay cool under pressure, because there's going to be a lot of pressure. This is, you know, and that release, you know, it's going to be so powerful that Sun in Cancer is about a self-trust and about a centeredness and about a certain knowing the self, especially with Mercury coming almost Kazemi in Cancer. So who are you? And, you know, Sextile Uranus, this is a new you. This is a, whoa, waking up. This is quite emotional, like, whoa, on the nervous system. But there's, you know, on the North Node, Sextile the North Node, this is, you know, an ability to gain so much emotional maturity, meaning the ability to hold space for these emotions and work with these emotions and energy in motion to move things, you know. But the thing is that Mercury is squaring Chiron. So here's another reason to be afraid, to feel weird, to feel awkward. But it's a first quarter square, so it needs to happen. There's a fear of failure, but it's a crisis in action. That Mercury in Cancer, like, needs to wake up, needs to know, needs to talk, communicate softly, go within and really go to the introspective side of yourself. And you know, just look and observe and kind of like a, with Mercury sextile Uranus, again, this is a bird's eye view. This is a, you know, just zooming out on those emotions, but at the same time feeling them. You know, it's like, so, but there's a certain softness, a certain mothering that needs to happen towards yourself and others in the very, you know, powerful, I would say patriarchal kind of energy. But it's the balance. And that's that tug of war that is happening naturally with a full moon in Capricorn. That's your past. It's your hereditary line. It's your ancestors. It's like, what are your ancestors teaching you? Listen deeply. Going into our DNA. The ability to change our DNA. Mercury sextile Uranus. This is epigenetics. By our mind. This is creating our own reality. We get the power with a Mercury sextile Uranus and on the North Node to create our own reality, change our own reality instantly. Pa, 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 pa. And it will happen also very naturally. And that could come as a shock. But that shock could be something that is a blessing, but you don't really realize it in the beginning. I realized I even didn't start talking about, you know, the beginning of the week, which has something very powerful with a moon in Sagittarius, a sun in Cancer, that optimism, that grandireness, or if that's even a word, but also Mercury sextile the North Node. You know, it's a very, like that's where the fatedness has come in, and that happens before the full moon. So we have to pay attention on Monday, Tuesday, before that full moon. Crucial information has come in, and there's at the same time a very fatedness that we have to use, because that Mercury sextile the North Node then is about implementing that information very fast, very fast. We have to Monday, Tuesday, boom, Wednesday, boom. You know. So, but I square Chiron, it could feel weird. There's like, we don't feel worthy. There's a lack of self-confidence that is kind of, but here's the saving grace. Venus in Gemini is about keep the conversation going, keep communication going, keep speaking it out about what you value, about money, about relationships, people that are supportive. We have to double down on those people that are supportive, that are helping us, because it's trining Saturn in Aquarius. And that gives us stability and grounding and the ability to come up with a plan and a structure and to integrate and to have important agreements. This is an important word, an important agreement. Agreements. There's that energy. An agreement is done with two people, or at least an observing. That's why I say with Mercury sextile Uranus, an observing and a bird's eye view on those emotions and on that new self, that new you. Mercury square Chiron doesn't believe it. It's like, whoa, I don't know if I can do it. So I'll be very protective towards others. And it's like, that's not opening up energy. But Venus in Gemini is asking to open up, trining Saturn. Come up with an agreement, not just of yourself, but agreements together with your community. Now Venus is squaring Neptune, which again could here paint it too beautiful. Have these conversations where we are not paying attention, where we're like, okay, yes, he said that or she said that. It's so, wow. Like we got to keep on have Gemini energy, curiosity. Neptune is going to dream. It's like, what? It's only to be disillusioned then. And it's like, if it's not, like, if it is becoming a little bit out of the, like, reality, what is reality in a way, but it's like, you'll know when you are dreaming. And that's why that feedback is going to be so important with Venus and Gemini trine Saturn. Feedback, agreements. We got to have a mirror, like, but there are things where we're going to be deceived, where we're going to be disillusioned. We got to keep that curiosity of Gemini. We got to keep, because that too is a first quarter square. And here again, the facts. What are the facts? What are the details? What are, like, in your close environment, what's going on? Keep the conversation going. And then you're safe. And that's the saving grace. Then that Mercury Cazimi happens on Saturday. Boom, realization. Again, this is a week of important realizations, important communication, important ideas even, an important reality created. Like, especially with, again, sextile Uranus, that's a new home, a new family member, or seeing in a different way. I think family relationships here too is just so important in the process. And then lastly, the moon in Pisces on Sunday and the sun in Cancer, that is la la la. You know, it's just, oh my God, very, yeah, the moon in Pisces is trining the sun in Cancer, but it is Mercury and the sun opposing Pluto here. It's, I would say that full moon energy that, even though the moon is in Pisces, this is spiritual cleansing, very, again, powerful energy because of that sun opposite Pluto. But this is, you know, a certain abuse, a certain power struggle, a certain fear that we have to face. And then moon in Pisces could be like, oh, I'm not seeing it. But if we here develop a certain kind of compassion, a certain kind of, you know, deep meditation, Kundalini yoga. This is Kundalini yoga to the max. Sun opposite Pluto, Kundalini force, with moon in Pisces, holding space and just staying with it. Practice, devotion, you know. So it's such a powerful week. What the fuck? Really? But we have to stay grounded, stay here in ourselves, because we can be swept away. We can, this is a week where we have to pay attention to not floating too much, because this is in reality, like that reality that we can build, and that if we stay very, like if we keep our senses open. But if we're not going to pay attention here, we could potentially get off some route that we don't want to be, and you will regret it later. Keep your senses open. Stay in contact with your close environment. That's what I would, you know, that's how I would summon it up. And then, wow, holy shit, man, this could be a week where everything, where we're going to look back and say, wow, you know, chances are that we're not going to remember like this whole week in a couple of months or years, but I can tell you, it is. This week could be a life changer. Well, I wish that to you. Thank you so much. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Happy to answer them. And take care. Bye-bye. Much love.